tits, bitch.
Hello, fiends and fiendettes. Welcome to the best horror podcast that you know and love, Scream Fiends. I'm your host, Xander, and with me once again is Russ.
That's me.
If you're just joining us for the first time on this show, we review movies.
We do that.
We also have episodes where we talk about news, what we've been playing, video game-wise, what we've been also watching, listening to sometimes.
Dark Souls.
Try to keep it horror-related, but it oftentimes stumbles into Dark Souls territory.
Or
Diablo, of course.
And now Bloodstained.
And this episode's movie of the week is 2019's Brightburn. This movie is starring Elizabeth Banks as Tori, David Denman as Kyle, who you may know from Battlestar Galactica.
Was he in that?
I don't know. That's what you said.
I don't think that's the same guy. I think,
or he was definitely on The Office.
But there's a guy that looks like him in Battlestar Galactica.
Well, good job.
Great because
good job.
Wilson was in this too, but
we're doing so well after like the 20th take. But oh well.
I mean,
he's on Battlestar Galactica now.
Galactica.
Jackson A. Dunn as Brandon, and Michael Rooker as the Big D.
The Big D.
It was written by Brian and Mark Gunn, who I assume are the siblings of... Why did I just blank on his... James Gunn.
Yeah.
That's who I thought he was.
Who produced this movie. His first horror outing...
That was the guy from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. His first horror outing since Slither, which you can go back in the archives, and at some point we did a Slither episode.
Slither's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
I like that movie.
And directed by David Yarovesky.
Huh?
Yarovesky.
What?
Yarovesky.
Who?
Young David Yarovesky. So, we've been meaning... We were going to do this movie a long time ago, but never got around to it. Yeah, finally did.
Did it. Watched it.
So yeah. As always, this show will have spoilers galore. We're going to go through the entire movie. So if you do not want this movie spoiled, you want to go in fresh, pause this episode, come back after you've seen it. Or if you just don't care, then proceed onward. But this is your spoiler warning, and
we're gonna spoil the shit out of this.
Let's do it. So this movie starts out at the Breyer residence. This is the Breyer family.
Yeah.
They live, I don't know, what do you call it, a farm?
Yep.
It's Farmville.
That's what I call a house that has a barn on the same plot.
Yeah.
I call it a farm.
All you need is chickens. And then you're a farm.
What happens if, though, like, the chickens get eaten by a wolf?
Then you're a bad farmer.
A bad farmer.
And then we get inside the farmhouse. I don't even want to call it a farmhouse. It kind of looks like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house from the outside.
That might be a farmhouse, too.
Yeah. Might be. And it pans up into the bedroom, and we see a book that's about like infertility.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of is this hint that this couple, Tori and Kyle are having difficulties.
Oh, you know what their name would be? It'd be Torque. Their like relationship name, would it be Torque? Or
Tile?
Tile and Torque. Tile or Torque. Oh. Yeah.
And we meet Torque.
Because they're torquing it.
They're getting busy on the bed.
Getting busy with it.
And they're saying stuff along the lines of like,
I'm horny.
Maybe this will be the time that it works. Yeah. Something to that extent. They're trying to have a baby. And then there's a big boom. And
then we get the rest of it is scenes from Superman 1.
Yes. Then it cuts to like film footage of a baby. So they now have this baby that they've found
in a spaceship. There's no spoiling that there. Everybody that saw previews for that movie know that it was Superman.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the previews, you know the general gist of it. It's evil Superman. But, yeah, then it cuts to 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon is now a 12-year-old boy and playing hide and seek. So this is something that comes back throughout the movie. What they do,
they play this
the mom,
Marco
Tori,
Polo-esque game where she'll go, she'll like whistle, and then he'll whistle back, and she's got to find him
in the reverse tune. So she'll do the.
Then he'll go.
I can't whistle. Yeah. Goes out to the barn, and
he's in the barn.
He's in the barn.
Sorry, you get your first jump scare. So she like creeps upstairs, like into the upper deck landing thing where you might put some hay. Mm-hmm. And he jumps up from behind something, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Yeah, I get you, man."
Then we get into school. Brandon's in school, and they're talking about wasps
versus bees.
Yes.
And he explains that bees are pollinators, whereas wasps are carnivores or something.
Something like that. But then he says something about how wasps will leave a little newborn wasp in with the bees, and the bees will think it's one of its own and feed it maggots and stuff. So that's a little subtle, not so subtle, like
yeah. Oh, then the one boy is like, "You talk a lot about maggots. Maybe it's because you are a maggot."
Oh.
And then the cute little girl in the class turns and goes, "Smart boys take over the world." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that."
Yeah.
And then he.
One thing I was curious about, and see what you think about this. So at the beginning, the mom, Tori, Elizabeth Banks, has like the purple streaks in her hair.
Oh, you think there's a whole Oedipus Rex thing going on here?
And then the girl in the class also has the purple streaks in her hair.
Oedipus Rex, you're talking
and
about. Yeah, he's
he
like,
gets a little crush on her.
Because it reminds him of mom.
So I wonder if that... Because obviously he would be way too little to remember the purple streaks. But he's also a space alien, so who knows?
Who knows? I think you might be onto something there. Oedipus.
Then we get Brandon in bed, and you
with
start.
His mom. Oh no!
You start hearing like these voices speaking like gibberish.
Yep, and he goes into like a full-on seizure.
Yeah,
like he's shaking, and Elizabeth Banks is like, "What's going on?"
So
and then she's like, "Okay, it's nothing." And then you see him like stand up and like go to the window and just jump out the window. And she hears
more
a
like
thump.
fall out the window.
Yeah, and she hears a thump and like, okay, and then she's looking for Brandon and ends up out in the barn, and Brandon's like going fucking crazy on this like cellar door kind of thing that's on top of the
it's like
floor.
a trap door in the barn.
Yeah, where you might hide a baby from a monster that makes you like that can only hear things it can't see.
Yeah, but you have a mattress over the door.
Exactly.
And you keep the baby in a box
and then it
for its entire life.
Exactly. And then you go, and then you grab the doors, and he's sitting there like pounding on the doors. And then she's like, "Brandon," he's like, "What?" "Oh yeah, I'm just freaking out." So she thought he was sleepwalking, but that's not what's happening.
Nope.
Nope. And then birthday party, right? Is that
nope?
next?
Nope. Then he's going to mow the lawn.
Oh yeah.
Trying to start the lawnmower.
It just won't start. It's
Nope.
a stupid thing.
So he gets a little bit PO'd.
Yeah. And then he throws it across the moon. Just throws it at the moon.
Yeah. So this is the first of his like super strength.
Yeah.
Ability.
Yeah, so he literally whips this lawnmower probably 125 yards, something like that.
Oh yeah, clear across the farm.
So the thing's running finally though, and he goes over to it and it's spinning. He's like, I wonder if I stick my hand in there, and he goes, and it cuts his fucking hand. No, it stops the blade.
Yeah, it's a pretty tense moment because the lawnmower is upside down. You can see the blade spinning, and he's just like slowly inching towards it with his hand.
Yeah.
And, hits, and the lawnmower blade gets fucked up.
Yeah, it fucked it up.
Not his hand, though. His hand is fine.
And he's just like, what am I?
Then we get the birthday party.
So they're having a birth. No, wait a minute. I feel like this isn't the first time we see him act defiantly.
Yeah, it is.
With his father, it's the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, he gets a gun for his birthday from his uncle.
Well, so, yeah, it would be his uncle, but I think the aunt is Elizabeth Banks' sister. Like, I don't think the uncle is a blood relative.
Sure.
Right? Is that how that works?
What you're saying is that his dad and the uncle aren't...
They're just friends.
They're just friends, but the two girls are sisters.
I believe so.
Gotcha. So they're sisters, and the dudes are brother-in-laws.
Yes, another person you may recognize from The Office and Breaking Bad. He was only on The Office for like a little bit. He was one of Dwight's cousins, I think.
What? Who is this?
The uncle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
But he was on Breaking Bad. He was one of the friends of that Aaron Paul character. Can't remember his name. But in any case, the uncle gets Brandon a gun. It's like a 22.
Nope. That looked like it's a little bit more than 22.
Yeah.
If he's going to go shoot a deer with it.
I suppose, he does make a comment of like, that's how I took down my first...
Yeah, it's probably like a 30-30.
Mm.
It honestly looked like a Henry repeater.
Yeah.
But the black barrel kind.
Mm.
Or no. Yeah, like, because they make them in like this golden boy version where the plating is like a gold color.
Yeah.
Then they have the silver boys, which is like a silver one, and then I think they have just like a standard model or something. But those are fun. I've fired a 22 like that.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun. I was very accurate with it. It's a very nice group like that.
Fun fact: a 22 is the only type of gun that I've ever fired. Yeah.
That's gonna just gonna.
No kick at all.
Nope. They're great though for like if you're going to a range.
They're fun.
They're less fatigue on your like muscles.
Mm-hmm. In any case, the dad does not approve of this.
No, and he grabs the gun and then Brand's like, "Give it back!
Give it to me!"
He goes, "What'd you say, bitch?" And like they kind of grab arms and he can't move Brandon because Brandon's like super strong.
He like hits the table and all the lights around arcade machines go dark.
Then they go home and they're fine.
So throughout this movie, I was kind of wondering, does he have the ability to control electronics?
I don't know if it's that or if it's just his powers like distort electronics around him, or maybe he does learn to control it, but at first maybe he can't as he puberties into his powers.
Yeah,
pubert powers.
So they're kind of like worried that, I don't know, maybe they're too
hard on
him, or like maybe they like, I don't know, they need to parent more. But in any case, they decide they're going to take Brandon and go out camping.
Yep.
So they get out there. It's in the middle of the night, and the mom...
They're out there. They set up and all this and that, and then they're hunting. And because the mom and the dad find like... First they find like bra ads, for his whack-a-mole material. And then it's like, wait now, why is there anatomy pictures in here? Like, not like... of vaginas, like anatomy, like people being opened up. And, like,
it starts with just like chicks and bras, like Victoria's Secret catalogs. Like that was my personal.
That was your go-to.
Or occasionally, like Sears catalogs would have
Bra
a
sections.
lingerie section.
They sure did. If you're lucky, your dad had a Sports Illustrated issue. You got that swimsuit issue every year. And then there was always that. It's just amazing. Like, I mean, most kids find something to whack a mole to, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we all.
You'd
did this.
assume so.
I mean, everybody did this. I mean, maybe there's some that haven't, and then you don't have to be part of this conversation. But kids have it so easy nowadays.
I can't even imagine. Like, I know when I was a little bit older, we got dial-up AOL.
Oh, so it's just like you.
And then getting a picture, it was like just fucking half an hour just to get one picture.
Yeah.
It was like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, but nowadays you can just get full.
Go on your phone.
You can go on your phone. I mean, you can put anything you want. You can go on the computer, phone, anything, nothing. You just type in. You know what I feel like seeing? Easter bunny porn. I mean, you can do anything you want. I mean, just find anything you want.
Drunk clown midget.
Yep.
Amputee. Down syndrome porn.
I mean, you can find anything you want, and it's like.
It's ridiculous.
See, I think that's where maybe like this generations of kids is going to lose respect for just each other in general, is because like we had to work for it.
Oh yeah,
and so I think that's why we still have respect. But these
you
youngins,
could probably order porn off Amazon, a physical copy of porn, before we could download a like porn movie over like a 5-minute clip over the internet back then when we were starting out our finding our bodies.
Oh my god. Well, in any case, that's what they talked about after they found his porn material. They talked about exploring your body, and he's like, it's okay to play with it. Play with what? He's like, your penis.
And Brandon was like, right now?
No, not right now. Just good talk.
Good talk.
But then
so that is why that inspires Brandon later at night. Mom wakes up to it. Brandon's gone.
Yep. And he went over to that girl's house who stuck up for him in the classroom, and the one guy called him a Megan. She's like, you're super smart.
You're gonna rule the world.
And so he would like use his powers to turn on her Elvis stuff because she likes Elvis. But then it kind of like creeped her out, and so she screamed.
But somehow she knew that it was Brandon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that, because you never see him.
We never see him.
We never see him, but I guess she could have seen him.
Yeah, but so she names him. It's Brandon Breyer, and then they're doing.
She gets creeped out.
She gets creeped out, justifiably so.
Yeah.
And then they go to the school the next day, and they're doing a little
Well,
drill.
no, then we get breakfast the next morning, and Brandon is like zoning out.
No, because they were camping still. So, so he comes back and like, where were you? He's like, I was taking a pee. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare everybody.
Yeah.
And then is it the next morning he's zoning out with the
and he's eating. Yeah, he's eating, and
eggs.
The dad is just like kind of talking to him, and
he knows
it shows like Brandon from the back, and he's like, you can hear this metal like crunching sound, and he's got the fork in his mouth.
Yeah, and he pulls a fork out of his mouth. It's all mangled. He's like, ah.
But then he like, it's almost like he's in a trance, and he doesn't even realize it.
And even he's like freaked out by what he just did.
Yeah. So this is when they find the pictures under the bed.
Oh, so he would have done that before they went out on the camping trip then.
Yeah.
So then we get all that stuff happening.
But so they don't go hunting when they go camping at first. It's after they find the pictures, then they go hunting.
Yeah. And then, after all that, school the next day.
Yes.
Trust fall exercise where they like bounce around each other. Well, it's Brandon's turn, and he's having a good time laughing. People are laughing, and then he comes to bump up against that girl he likes, and she lets him fall on his head.
Yeah, because she's freaked out because he was in her room.
He's a pervert, she says. And so
the teacher
is like, you better help him up or you're going to fail my class, Caitlin. And he's like, Brandon's like, reaches his hand out, and she grabs his hand, and then he crushes it
like
breaks his
really
breaks her wrist.
crushes it.
Crushes her hand and then breaks her wrist. Crush the hand, break the wrist.
That's how you do it. Crush the hand, break the wrist.
And so
Crush the hand.
then we get a
break
scene
the wrist.
reminiscent of Donnie Darko, and they're sitting in there talking about the kid, and Caitlin's mom Erica's flipping out about how he's a psycho and blah blah blah.
Needs to be arrested.
And then finally, Elizabeth Banks, Tori, has had enough and gets him out of there.
Yeah, she's like, if talking smack about a 12-year-old makes you feel better, and blah blah blah. Yeah. I'm sorry about your daughter's hand. Then we get another. Brandon is in a trance, but he's like hearing the voices, and he's starting to translate what he's hearing. And it starts out take the.
Then he wakes up.
Yeah, but
and he falls down in the thing, and he cuts himself.
Yes, because he rips open the locked cellar barn doors.
Yeah, and when he falls in, though, he hits his hand on that old spaceship.
But doesn't the mom come in and he's like levitating over it?
Yeah, and then he falls in.
Yep.
He cuts his hand. It's like, oh shit. He could get
That's his
own
kryptonite.
technology.
It's his kryptonite.
His own technology. His own technology. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So boom, 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 boom.
Boom, kryptonite.
Would you still call me Superman? Kryptonite. Who sings that song?
3 Doors Down.
Ooh, 3 Doors Shut, please.
Then we get the laser eyes. He realized he can do laser eyes.
Oh, yeah. Something like
I don't know why. I can't remember why he does the laser eyes for the first time, but he can do laser eyes.
He's Superman. And then, he's not happy that Erica was talking some shit. That's Caitlin's mom. And she's closing up the restaurant.
Well, no, he goes and visits the girl that he broke her hand.
Oh, that's right.
And he's like very ominously like, you better not tell my parents or whatever.
No, he's like, I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt you. I'm sorry. He goes, and she's like, my mom doesn't want you to talk to me. He goes, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of that.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to take care of that. So then he does. And so next scene is him or her,
she's a waitress.
Yep. She's closing up shop.
At a diner.
And then sounds. And then lights flickering. And then she looks up at a fluorescent light bulb, and it explodes.
Boom. And we get one of the, I would say this is this year's
Century?
hand ripping scene.
From Gerald's game.
Gerald's game, like this year's Gerald's game scene. She gets a shard of glass impaled into her eyeball, like directly into her pupil.
Yep, and then like she can feel it, and she's kind of like this, and like whenever she moves her eye up or down, you can hear the glass of it like ricochet
like
off
clink.
Of her eyelashes.
Yeah, and it's not just like. It's not just like a short like cutaway, so you know that there's a shard of glass in her eyes. No, close up on her eyeball.
When she pulls it out,
I could not. It was so fucking fantastic. It was so great, so well done. I love it. But
really
it
good.
fucking grossed me
It was
the
really
fuck out.
good.
So good.
And then she gets chased around the bar.
Yeah, and the camera sort of has this like blood tinge, so it's like from her perspective of like.
Yep, and it's also like it sounds like she's underwater too. Whenever they kind of go to her perspective.
Yeah, almost like you can hear her breathing from inside her head.
Yeah. So it's like you're actually looking through her eyes as opposed to it being filmed from her eyes.
Right. Yeah.
And then you see Brightburn flying around a little bit, and then
she goes and locks herself into the freezer.
Yep, and then the freezer gets blown open by Superman powers.
Yep, you see the laser beam cutting through the door.
Yep.
And then the door just rips in half and flies backwards.
And then she's like, "What's going on?" And then she gets tackled.
Yep, Brandon flies in and gets her.
Yep, got her. Okay, next.
So then we get the cops showing up, and
They see the BB thing.
she's missing.
Oh.
She's missing.
Yeah, she's missing. They see that BB symbol, but it's not the first time we've seen it. We saw it the first time when his mother comes out of the school after whatever, and she sees him drawing it. She's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Don't look at it."
Yeah, he's drawing his costume. So he like already envisions himself as this masked.
Yeah.
I assume he thinks of himself as he's going to destroy the world. Right? He doesn't see himself as a superhero. He definitely sees himself as a villain.
And he's superior to the group. I think that scene's after his first. He has his first. He has his. Oh no. Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know, but so he kills Erica. Then he's got his first like psychotherapy with his aunt, who's the only social worker
the
in the
aunt
town.
is the guidance counselor at the school.
So she's like, and he's like, he's not showing any remorse for anything he just did. And then he kind of like gets pissed at his aunt.
Yeah, because it wasn't very clear. Because later that night, he ends up going to her house and
does that weird like passive aggressive threat, and he's like, "Don't tell my mom, and don't tell the sheriff. It would be bad for me. It would be bad for my parents."
Yeah, but I don't really understand why she would have to go to the cops. Did he say something during their session?
No, yeah, she said that she has to report his progress to the sheriff.
Oh.
And he's telling her, "You better not."
Oh, you better not.
And she doesn't get a chance. But so she's doing whatever, and he's creeping her out, and then she says, "Okay, yep, go home," and blah blah blah, and
then we get
then he's in the house with the mask on. So my assumption here was that he was getting ready to kill her, but then her husband, the uncle, comes home.
Well, yeah, interspersed through that is a scene of Kyle and is it Nick?
I don't remember.
The friend, the uncle's name. They're all like playing pool at a bar. The uncle is pretty drunk, but he decides to drive home. So he gets home a little bit after Brandon had showed up.
Yep.
Wife had gone to bed. He like gets in, kisses her on the forehead, then goes to brush his teeth.
And then he sees a flash of red, and he's like, "What the fuck?" So he goes into his closet, and he sees Brandon in there. He's like, "What the fuck?" That's it.
Takes the mask off.
We're going home. He's like, "No, I wasn't doing anything." Blah, blah, blah. Then he won't get in the car. But then he starts using his superpowers. And he whips Uncle Nicholas against the garage door.
Oh, well, he freaks out because the uncle says he's going to tell the parents.
Oh, yes, that's right.
He's like, "You better not, bitch."
And then he just throws that bitch against the wall. Then he gets in the car.
Which was weirdly edited. I know you mentioned that while we were watching it.
Oh, yeah, when you just see his eyes turn red, and then the next scene is like a ground upward shot towards the garage door. You just see Uncle Nicholas just go, "Ah!"
Yeah, it weirdly cuts from him like starting to get the red eyes and get pissed to all of a sudden the uncle is flying against the garage door.
Well, so Uncle thought it was a good idea to just get in his car and drive off.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. But
yeah.
So he's driving off, and he's like flying into his car, breaking windows, and then he breaks his car, and he can't. And you just see the kid kind of flipping back and forth.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
pretty
lights out
cool.
kind of
He's
thing.
every time he hits the steering wheel, the lights come back on, and you see Brandon standing there.
Yep.
And
then eventually, it just you don't see him, and then you see the car start moving.
But no. Pretty soon he sees him like levitating, and he's like, "Oh hell no!"
He's like, "Nope, nope,
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 nope." And Brightburn grabs his car by the back end, and it's kind of like lifting him up, like lifting. I thought he was just gonna like roll it over, then like slowly crush
Yeah.
it or something.
Yeah.
But he like lifts it straight in the air with the nose pointing down. And he's like, ah, you know, and whatever, and then he drops it.
And he gets steering wheel stomped.
Yep. So the steering wheel goes into his mouth and like dislocates and tears his lower mandible away from his skull.
Yep.
He's like, oh shit. And,
Yeah,
like,
trying to like put it back on.
Yeah, but then Brandon grabs some of his blood to write his BB thing.
Yeah, sticks his finger in his mouth.
He's
and
like, oh, that's gross. You know, it doesn't write my name.
yeah.
And yeah, I thought that that was pretty crazy looking, but I feel like he's only dropped from like, it seemed like 15, 20 feet up. Like,
It was decently high.
I don't think
I believe it. I believe it.
I don't think it would have done that kind of damage.
He wasn't buckled up. Face went straight into the steering wheel.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because like the steering wheel is here, right?
Mm.
And then you dropped it straight down. So if your body is moving in this direction and then it gets stopped suddenly, if your body still wants to move, that steering wheel is going to go right into his chest. Because it's here. Boom! Here. Boom!
Yeah, but if his mouth went...
Plus, here's the other thing, is he was holding himself up over it like this because like wasn't strapped in. So I really feel like they just it's kind of a stretch that the steering wheel went through his face.
I don't know. I mean, they showed the entire thing.
Yeah, somehow, after being like this, as it was falling, he was like this, so the steering wheel could go through his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It was a cool gore.
But it was a cool gore.
It was a cool
thing.
gore.
It was
scene.
absolutely cool gore scene, but it was total bullshit.
Yeah. Then I think they go to the hospital and find out that the uncle is in like surgery.
Nope, he's dead.
Well, they tell Brandon that.
Oh, sure.
But see, I couldn't tell if he was actually dead or if they were just telling Brandon he was dead to see what kind of reaction Brandon would have.
I thought that when the sister got there, she's like, they won't let me go identify the body because his face is too mangled.
Oh, I thought they said he was like in surgery.
Oh, I could have missed it. I might be wrong. I don't really remember.
In any case.
Well, because they keep saying, you killed Uncle Noah. Or, it was Noah. That's what
Noah,
it was.
yes.
So, anyways, then they find out, because what happens is that night he comes back from killing Uncle Noah, and they're like, where were you? I was playing soccer.
And he's not wearing a shirt.
Yeah, the boys were being mean to me, and they ripped my shirt. And then,
Yeah.
well, let me see the shirt. No! Can't see the shirt. I'm hiding it.
And then at the hospital, the aunt asks if Brandon got home okay.
Yeah, so they know that Brandon was making shit up. I mean, they knew anyways, but... so, then...
That's when they tell him that Noah is dead.
And he goes, okay.
Okay.
Like, don't you feel bad? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes you... You're making me feel like I should be crying. Well, do you feel like you should? I don't know. Or something like that. He wasn't like...
Yeah.
And then the dad thinks he did it. And then he's like, all right, blah, blah. And he's yelling at him. Then he, like, throws his dad against the glass.
Oh, yeah.
Cabinet thing. And they're like, what the fuck? And then Elizabeth Banks is like, yo, chill out. I got this. And then they go talk. And then dad goes upstairs and he finds the shirt. And he's trying to...
Yeah, Brandon gets in the shower. And, the dad goes into the room.
Then he's like, oh, I'll hide my shirt, man. Nothing. Love you, kid. And then he's they're laying there and he's looking at old baby things of like things that Brandon had made for him, and he wants to take them hunting.
Birthday cards, and at some point, the dad has this weird dream where he like wakes up and then like the outdoors is right there, like the room is cut out, and so he can walk directly outside. And it's like a
It's like he's like remembering when he first found Brandon in the
spaceship. Except the mom, Elizabeth Banks, is like standing there,
bleeding out of her eyes.
And it's gushing all over. And then he looks down at the baby. The baby gets glowing red eyes and gets fangs and
so that
pop
thing
scare.
She had him swallow in kind of looks like the same material that the hat's made out of.
Oh yeah.
But in any case, he's gonna take her hunting.
Well, okay. So I speaking of that, I assumed that was what they found the baby in, like wrapped up in that.
Like in Superman.
Yeah. And that exactly like Superman. Huh. Funny how that works. Yeah.
But
so yeah, then the dad decides we're gonna have some father-son bonding time.
and so everybody's happy, and then the sheriff shows up after they leave though. Hey, can you look at this picture? And it's the BB thing. She goes, I don't know what this is. She goes, oh, it looks like two B's, like Brandon Breyer. He's like, I saw it was at both crime scenes, and she's like, I think you need to leave.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think you need to go. And then she runs upstairs and finds a book with all that in there, with all the BBs and all the different ways that he killed Uncle Noah. And
yeah.
so she's frantically trying to call her husband and figure it out. But while that's happening, they're out there hunting, and Brandon finds deer tracks. And then Battlestar Galactica's like,
it's a very
old yellow.
Lenny. No, what's that? With Lenny. What's that book called?
What?
You know, Lenny. He takes Lenny out. Of Mice and Men.
Oh, I've never read.
You never read about Mice and Men? The fuck. In any case, Brandon is there with his back turned, and the dad is behind him. Raises the gun.
Blows his head not off. It just kind of shoots.
He's like, "What?"
Yeah. So Brandon's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then, I'm sorry. Then he chases him through the woods, and he's doing this flying thing, like in the Matrix. He's doing this flying thing.
Yeah.
And then he gets a hold of his pops, and he laser beams his eyeballs, and then the laser beams eventually just come out of the back of his head.
Yep. He skull fucks him with his laser eyes.
Yeah. Well, and as Elizabeth Banks is calling, it's Brandon answers, goes, "Hi, Mom." He goes, "Where's Dad?" "Gone." "What do you mean, gone?" You know
what I mean.
"No, I don't, Brandon." He's like, "He's gone." "Where are you, Brandon?" "I'm home." Then you get the scene of him like hovering over the house and crushes the phone. And then he attacks the house, and he's flying in and out of it. She's hiding underneath shit.
Cops show up.
And then, she calls the cops back, and they're like, "Oh, fuck." And then they turn around and go try to help. And he stops around when they show up, and they're knocking on the door. And she's like, "I'm in here." And he's like, "No, follow my boys." And so she's like, "Okay." And then all of a sudden,
the sheriff gets turned into a milkshake.
Yep. And his milkshake did not bring any boys to the yard.
No.
And then the other cop, who was
Lady Don Knotts.
The Lady Don Knotts. I mean, I'm not even kidding when I say that if they brought that show back, try to do, she should play the non, just because of her face. I'd be
totally fine with the gender swap
if it's her.
If it's her,
because I mean, even she was she seemed overzealous for her job and everything, kind of in the Andy Griffith show.
Yeah.
I can't think of that guy's name though, his actual character, Barney.
Yep.
And so it's I kept thinking, oh my God, she's Barney Fife, but yeah. And then she gets the shit kicked out of her by Brandon Breyer.
Yeah, her face is a little more than lacerated, not to a pulp, but almost to a pulp.
Yep.
She gets fucked up.
Yeah, it looks like what something like Hannibal Lecter might wear to say escape prison. That's what she is. I ate his liver with a nice candy and some fava beans.
So we get a little bit of cat and mouse chase. Mom runs out to the barn
because she remembers that she cut him, or that he cut himself on that thing.
Yes.
So she's like, "I'm gonna get him," and so she puts a big chunk of it in her back pocket.
Yeah, she somehow rips a blade shaped chunk off the ship.
Yeah, and then
sticks in her back pocket.
They do go back to that thing, and then they find each other, and she's like, "I'll always love you. I know there's good in you." Blah blah blah. And he's hugging her. They're hugging, and she's about to.
Oh, and he even says I want to do good.
Yeah, I want to do good. And then she tries to stab his ass, and he's like, "Nope."
I thought we were on to something, Mom. I thought we were getting somewhere.
He flies through the roof of the barn because it's a farm,
Mm-hmm.
and she gets cut up on the way, and she kind of looks like the cop, but not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's looking at his face when they're way up high in the sky. And
Yeah,
she's like,
he flies, I don't know, 30,000 feet?
no, doesn't. Like, oh, maybe I guess. Well, no, I don't think it was 30,000 feet.
It had to have been
Is
30,000
that
feet.
jet?
Yeah.
We'll say 30,000 feet.
Okay.
So then he drops her, and then he looks over and there's a jet coming. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll cover my tracks."
And then it cuts to black,
Fades to black.
fades to black, credits start to roll, and we get like news segments.
You know, first Brightburn, Kansas. A family was killed from a airline crash. So that's how they covered that whole thing up.
Yeah, he crashes the plane into the farmhouse.
Which is in Superman, the first thing he does is like saves an airline thing from. You remember like that scene of Superman holding up an airplane? Well, this is the exact opposite.
Right.
He crashes one into his barn.
And that's where, so we finally get why this movie is called Brightburn, because an ambulance is there and it has Brightburn Medical.
Well, even the news lady says in Brightburn, Kansas.
Okay, so yeah.
Then you see other news clips of him like taking out buildings and doing this and that. And then Michael Rooker comes on. He's like screaming at the TV.
Yeah, he's like the Alex Jones character.
Of Brightburn.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
There's something else. So he mentioned the big T, Michael Rooker. He's talking about another. Well, so you see the super,
You see the
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah. So it's like in the same universe as the super.
Yeah. But then he also talks about some girl that's like strangling people
with ropes.
Yeah. So I wonder if there's more super villains out there in this universe.
This would be like how they want to do like a monster universe. Here you go. Here's how you do it. You just actually make evil superheroes. Like, so the next movie would be about Catwoman who just murders dudes with a whip and a rope or something.
That's good. That's good.
You know, Batman. They do a Batman one where he's like a criminal mastermind and he's just gets the upper hand all the time because he's got a lot of money.
Yep.
You know what the evil version of Batman is?
What?
American Psycho. Rich guy that can't handle the shit.
That's good. So yeah, that was Brightburn. Nice and short, perfect length, 89 minutes about, give or take. So yeah, that's right. Perfect.
I thought it was for a horror movie, timing wise, like it was paced pretty well, and everything. But because of it, I kind of wish they went into his character a little bit more because he just kind of like he gets a pube and then turns evil.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
like,
he hears the voices that are telling him to take the world. But yeah, it doesn't really expand on that at all. And I agree. I would love to like know more about like why he's there, like what his planet is like. Is there were more of these aliens sent?
Yeah.
So hopefully, I mean,
Brightburn 2.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a Brightburn 2.
So like, is there like a bald, like super smart good guy who tries to who ties Brightburn to a chunk of his own spaceship and leaves him in a pool and like I can't remember which Superman that is, which movie that is.
But I will say much lesser movies have gotten multiple sequels, so I will fingers crossed we get more in this universe because it's a really cool concept. I like what they did here with the evil Superman.
My thing is like, where do you go from here, though? He's already, like, wiping out cities.
Yeah, he's obviously not going to have the moral dilemma of Superman, like, not being able to save everyone.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? He just killed his, his non-biological mother, who's, like, cared for him as well. I mean, she did try to stab him in the back.
Yeah.
But, see, I kind of didn't know how I felt about, like... Because I thought she was, like, maybe going to have a change of heart and not actually try to kill him. Just because, like, in, like, having that kind of an ending, like in Grace.
Well, I thought maybe that too. But then when they're hugging, I thought maybe he was gonna do like a super bear hug and like snap her in half.
Yeah.
But
So it seems like that people that honestly cared about him, he wouldn't hurt. You know what I mean?
yeah, because the family that he did hurt, like,
Although then again, he was trying to kill his mother in the house at one point.
but was he really, or was he just trying to like scare her?
It's hard to tell because what would he have done if he found her in the house? Because then she just calls him out and he shows up and she pulls the mask off of him. I mean, she could have just done anything he wanted to her right there.
Yeah.
And doesn't. And tells her, I want to do good.
Mm-hmm.
So is he conflicted actually, or is he just pure fucking evil?
Well, I don't know, because remember when he was going in the trances? Like, maybe that was like fighting good versus evil sort of thing going on there.
The only time he ever hurt somebody was when they hurt him.
Yeah.
He only ever did anything reactionary. He went to the next degree.
Yeah, definitely had a
because it looks like he was
violent
trying
outbursts.
to fix his relationship with his father by going hunting. Like he found the deer tracks. He wasn't like just going there and pouting. He was participating.
Well, and he went back to that girl too, that he broke her hand, and he didn't really apologize, but
because he had that superiority complex. Like he knew he was superior to human beings.
Yeah, because he says to that girl, no, the girl he broke her hand. He's like, you saw something in me, and I just want you to know that
I am special.
Yeah, I am special. Yeah. So yeah, what?
Well, I'll give it a seal of approval. I thought it was fun. I thought that gore was, handled well.
Mm-hmm.
The eyeball thing was great.
Yes.
I can't tell.
Amazing.
Even that jaw thing. That had to have been CGI. Wasn't too shabby.
Yeah, it almost looked like it could have been like a combination.
Yeah.
Practical and CGI.
Sure.
Because it didn't look like super fake, but it also didn't look
super real.
100% practical.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yep, I hear.
But it looked good even if it was all CGI.
Yep. So that was good. The story, the premise is it's not the first time that the evil Superman story. It's not the first time. I think this is the first time. What's up?
Oh, you're just getting away from them.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's not the. I read a comic called Irredeemable. I think it's called, where a Superman-like character has had enough and he just starts fucking the planet up and letting people worship him, and he's throws meteorites at Taiwan or something like that because the UN's trying to and he fucking goes crazy, and they don't know how to stop him because he's stronger than everybody.
Yeah.
So it is an interesting premise. What if you have a godlike superhero dude who just decides, I can't take it anymore? Because what it was this guy, he saved somebody's life, but he busts through their wall to do it, and they bitch at him for breaking their house. He's like, I just saved your life. So he's finally had enough.
Yeah.
And he starts killing everybody.
Yeah, I will go. I almost want to say platinum just because of that eyeball glass in the eye.
Well,
scene.
I'll say that's a platinum effect, but the movie doesn't get a platinum for me.
Yeah. I would say overall, I would give it
silver.
I would say gold.
I'll go silver. It wasn't
I love Elizabeth Banks.
I love her too. She's really good.
I love James Gunn, even though he only produced this.
Yeah.
And you could tell it wasn't really James Gunn style, but I don't know.
See, for me, I give it a high good silver. I thought it was good, but I don't see myself coming back to this and I need to see this again.
Right.
It
was definitely fun to watch. If it was on TV, I would definitely turn it on and watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would go out of my way to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else has been gold, and this just I don't know. I don't give this one a gold just because there's I don't know. I'm gonna go high silver. I don't know. Maybe gold is okay.
Yeah, there wasn't any point where I was like bored or not interested in what was going on.
Yeah, I was just kind of overall bored the whole time. Like, it wasn't like I thought the premise was cool, but like it just like because I mean, I kind of wish this had the like big 2.5 hour thing to it where they kind of go into this character a little bit more.
There definitely were no stakes, like no dilemma.
There was no dilemma. It's just this kid's gonna kill you.
Yeah,
and you know it's gonna happen. But the effects and everything was good. The acting was good and everything. So I think the only thing holding me back from a gold is just the kind of lack of story.
Yeah, it could have been more fleshed out.
But what they did give you was great, though. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on how I feel today. I kind of feel silvers, but I could see it like sneaking a gold too.
Yeah.
I just got to look at some other golds. You know, I can't remember what else I've given golds before. But I don't know, because, man, this one is really good. Like,
so we'll average it out high silver.
High silver.
Yeah.
Low gold somewhere in there. Kind of depends on how you feel like. As like a okay, you know what? I'm gonna give it a gold. Here's why. As a horror movie, it's a gold. As a superhero movie or a super villain movie, it's a silver.
Okay.
They didn't flesh out the evil villain enough. But as far as it being a horror movie, he's fucking perfect because he's not enough. That's what makes him so creepy. It's like, why does he flip flop? So as a horror movie, I'll give it a gold. As a comic book movie, it gets a silver. Which actually might give it a gold because it's still probably better than all the other superhero movies I've ever been on. So, well, that means that all the superhero movies I like, I give bronze or less.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, get at us on Twitter at ScreamFiends. Let us know what you thought of Brightburn. Let us know what you thought of what we thought of Brightburn. Were we right? Does it get a gold or does it get a silver? Let us know.
What?
Hit that subscribe, hit that comment, leave a comment.
Comment on a comment.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
And until next time, from us as Scream Fiends, so long and farewell.